You know, every single time you scroll through your phone, there's this invisible force making decisions for you. It's shaping the news you see, your mood, maybe even how you see the world. But what if you could grab the controls? Let's talk about the secret boss running your social media feed and a really big idea that could put you back in the driver's seat. Just think about it for a second. Your feed is your personal window to everything. It's your newspaper, your family photo album, and the town square all rolled into one. But here's the thing. You're not the one curating it. Right now, every single platform you use has its own secret boss, a private proprietary algorithm, and it's calling all the shots. So who really is the editor-in-chief of your digital life? Well, it's not a person you can call up and complain to. It's a super complex system, a recommender algorithm, and it has its own set of goals that, frankly, might be totally different from yours. So let's pull back the curtain and see how this thing actually works. Okay, so it all happens in a 4-step process, and it happens faster than you can even blink. First, the algorithm gathers an inventory of literally everything it could show you. Posts from friends, pages you follow, ads, you name it. Then, it runs a quick integrity check to get rid of stuff that breaks the rules. After that, candidate generation happens, which whittles down millions of posts to just a few hundred. And finally, and this is the most important step, comes ranking. This is where the algorithm scores those final posts based on one specific predetermined goal. And that goal? Well, that goal changes absolutely everything. Right. So that one goal has basically become the holy grail for pretty much every platform out there: engagement. But what happens when the main objective is just to keep your eyes glued to the screen for as long as humanly possible? Well, this is where things start to get a little complicated. To really see what happens when you tweak that one goal, you just have to look at Facebook's history. It is the perfect case study. Every time they changed their strategy, it had this huge ripple effect. In the early days, they were all about clicks and likes, which, surprise, surprise, led to a golden age of clickbait. Then by 2015, they shifted to maximizing time spent. The result? We all just started scrolling more and interacting less. But then came the big one in 2018, meaningful social interactions. To try and get deeper connections, they decided an angry reaction was 5 times more valuable than a simple like. Why? Because strong emotions mean strong engagement. This may have accidentally cranked up the outrage machine, which they tried to walk back in 2020 by making that angry reaction worth 0 again. And that really gets to the heart of the problem here. As researchers have pointed out, engagement isn't a measure of quality. It's a measure of our instant gut reactions and our own unconscious biases. The algorithm is built to give us more of what we react to immediately, not necessarily what's good for us or even what's true. And this shows you the fundamental mismatch, right? We go online because we're human. We want connection, a sense of status, a feeling of belonging. But the algorithm isn't optimizing for our needs. It's built to optimize for its metrics: engagement, time spent on site, and at the end of the day, profit. There's this huge gap between what we're looking for and what the machine is actually designed to give us. Now, let's be super clear here. The research on this is pretty nuanced. It's really hard to prove that algorithms are the single root cause of all these big societal problems we're seeing. But honestly, that almost misses the point. Because whether they're the main cause or they're just an amplifier, the undeniable fact is that you, the user, have 0 say in the matter. You can't change the goal. You have no choice. But what if you did? What if you could fire the algorithm your platform gives you and hire a totally new one? This is the big idea behind a solution that's been gaining a lot of steam: creating a marketplace for algorithms. The technical term for this is middleware, and the way it's defined in the North Carolina Journal of Law and Technology, it's all about creating a new layer of competition. So instead of every platform having one locked-in algorithm that you're stuck with, middleware would open up a marketplace where you could actually choose from many. Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like an app store for your feed. Seriously, just like you choose which web browser or weather app you want to use, you could choose an algorithm that actually lines up with what you value. In fact, a platform called Blue Sky is already experimenting with this, letting people subscribe to different custom feeds made by other developers. I mean, this could build a completely different online world. Imagine installing an algorithm from a nonprofit that's designed to optimize for your mental well-being, or one that simply prioritizes posts from your actual friends and family. Or maybe you want a feed that actively hunts down more nuanced, high-quality journalism. The point is to shift the power from a handful of platforms back to all of us, the users, the creators, and new businesses. Now, this sounds amazing in theory, right? But making it a reality isn't as simple as just building the marketplace. For this to actually work and not just become another system controlled by the same huge players, it would need a whole new regulatory blueprint. And as legal scholars argue, this great idea can only deliver on its promises if it's backed up by clear structural rules. Without them, the whole system could just collapse back into the same old patterns we see today. And that blueprint really comes down to two critical rules. First, mandatory API access. You can think of this like requiring platforms to install a universal outlet that any third-party algorithm can just plug right into. And second, structural separation. This one is so key. The big platforms themselves would be banned from competing in their own marketplace. So that first rule, mandatory API access, is all about creating a level playing field. It guarantees that some small startup can build an algorithm that plugs into the same giant ocean of content, giving them a real shot to actually compete. And that second rule, structural separation, is all about preventing a rigged game. I mean, if platforms could offer their own official algorithm in the marketplace, they could just use their massive resources and data to make sure their option always wins, which would crush any real competition. This rule makes sure the marketplace is for everyone else. So, all of this brings us back to that huge central question. If we could actually build this system, if we could truly take the controls for ourselves, what would that future even look like? What would you want from your feed? Would you pick an algorithm that's designed to reduce political polarization by showing you what different sides might have in common? Would you optimize for your own mental well-being? How about a feed that shows you more educational content, the kind of stuff that research says most of us claim we want? Or maybe you just want a quieter, simpler feed that helps you connect more deeply with the people you really care about. Ultimately, this is the real takeaway. For more than a decade now, we've been living in an online world built by a few companies for a few very specific goals. Middleware offers this radical alternative, a world built by everyone for everyone. So the final question really isn't just about tech or regulation, it's about us. If you were truly in control, what kind of online world would you choose to create?